Leadership is all about making things to move forward, not backward. I'd rather hear an ugly truth rather than an obscure lie. Faithless is he that says farewell when the road darkens. The greatest step towards a life of simplicity is to learn to let go. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Learn from who you were, appreciate who you've become, and carefully invest into who you want to be. The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly. Many things that don't really mean so much of anything are wonderful. If you make a mistake and do not correct it, this is called a mistake. Bloom as if you want to make the whole world beautiful. And there are really never endings, happy or otherwise. There's nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. Don't worry about the negative people may say about you. Learn from it and move on. Every man reaches his destination if he just keeps walking. Crying can bring relief as long as you don't cry alone. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Many things are not as they seem. The worst things in life never are. I can't go into detail, but it's why I went to the special meeting at the Pentagon. Politeness is the first thing people lose once they get the power. When I get sad, I stop being sad and be awesome instead. Don't fast forward through life. You'll miss all the good stuff along the way. Any fool can know. The point is to understand. For them to perceive the advantage of defeating the enemy, they must also have their rewards. What the caterpillar calls the end, the rest of the world calls a butterfly. The spirit tower has its guardian, but unless it understands who its guardian is, it cannot be guarded. When you take control of your attitude, you take control of your life. Notice the difference between being in control and needing control. You must accept the truth from whatever source it comes. Make visible what, without you, might perhaps never have been seen. A battering ram can knock down a city wall, but it cannot stop a hole. Different things have different uses. People are the most difficult thing in the world to change. To know that we know what we know, and that we do not know what we do not know, that is true knowledge. Tongues in trees, books in running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. Stay calm. You've been through this before. You'll get through it again. Great knowledge sees all in one. Small knowledge breaks down into the many. Everything in life is speaking in spite of its apparent silence. Sometimes, the best of God's gifts arrive by the shattering of all the window panes. When you are identified with the One, all things will be complete to you. To attain knowledge, add things every day. To attain wisdom, remove things every day. In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks. Irrational expectations are at the root of most human suffering. Never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. Success in warfare is gained by carefully accommodating ourselves to the enemy's purpose. When you trip over love, it is easy to get up, but when you fall in love, it is impossible to stand again. Everybody stay positive, no matter how negative life gets. But better to get hurt by the truth than comforted with a lie. Being unconquerable lies with yourself. Being conquerable lies with your enemy. Sometimes the grass is greener. Sometimes it is sick. Men of this world all rejoice in others being like themselves and object to others not being like themselves. What you do is what matters, not what you think or say or plan. People who belittle people will belittle people and will accomplish very little. It was always the becoming he dreamed of, never the being. Concentrate your energy and hoard your strength. When you change your thoughts, remember to also change your world. Don't be afraid of being different. Be afraid of being the same as everyone else. There's no clarity. There was never meant to be clarity. It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. Correct your mistake as soon as you have found it. Reason is and ought only to be the slave of the passions. You show me a capitalist, and I'll show you a bloodsucker. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. A superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. We must meet the challenge rather than wish it were not before us. Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. Slowly we became silent, and silence itself, if an enemy to friendship. May my heart be kind, my mind fierce, and my spirit brave. If we don't change the direction we are headed, we will end up where we are going. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. It takes greater faith to dance in the dark than to rest in light. It was the truth, and like any truth, it was powerful. Cherish that which is in you, and shut out that which is without, for much knowledge is a curse. As for methods of prayer, all are good, as long as they are sincere. Rely not on the likelihood of the enemy's not coming, but on our own readiness to receive him. War is a matter of vital importance to the state. Birth is not the beginning, death is not the end. I knew it like destiny, and at the same time, I knew it as choice. When you treat your failures as lessons, you can never fail. The invariable mark of wisdom is to see the miraculous in the common. You know, the minute you stop thinking about it, it'll happen. If thinking should precede acting, then acting must succeed thinking. What keeps life fascinating is the constant creativity of the soul. If you want to dine with perfection, you must toil with imperfection. When we embrace who we are, the world embraces us right back. Truth is a straight line you sometimes need to curve. You should know that by now. Over time, hidden truths morph in the dark soil of deceit into something much worse. I admire those who do good and expect nothing in return. The tragedy of life is what dies inside a man while he lives. The older I grow, the more I distrust the familiar doctrine that age brings wisdom. Sometimes I think my head is so big because it is so full of dreams. Honest is how I want to look. The truth doesn't glitter and shine. Your strongest muscle and worst enemy is your mind. Train it well. Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. The only limits for tomorrow are the doubts we have today. Everything that is done in this world is done by hope. The company you choose to keep says a lot about who you are. He will win who, prepared himself, waits to take the enemy unprepared. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. Life happens, shit happens, and it happens a lot, to a lot of people. The mistakes I've made are dead to me, but I can't take back the things I never did. You must let suffering speak if you want to hear the truth.